might be wondering what brokerage you should join when you're just starting out in real estate. And the honest truth, that's a great question. And honestly, I have to confess for myself, what I personally lacked was not thinking about this. I definitely did not think about what goals I should be laying out in my mind and what brokerage should go to. So the first thing you can think about that I know I didn't do, and obviously in hindsight, I would look back and have changed this, but I didn't really lay out my goals with what I wanted to accomplish in real estate, right? And I think that's actually natural. It happens to everybody because if you're like me, you got into real estate in addition to doing another career. You saw it as maybe an outlet or a path you would do in the future. And that's really awesome. And I can't say anything bad about the brokerage I was at. It was just sort of small, right? And so if I would have maybe done it again and started all over, I would have thought about what are my goals in real estate? What am I trying to accomplish out of this? And I probably would have realized that a small private brokerage wasn't really the best option for me because they just have limited capacity, right? One of the main differences between that private brokerage model and a larger, let's say, national model is just solely based on referrals, right? So in real estate, you actually can get referrals from another agent. And when I moved from my small private brokerage to the national brokerage, within 2 months, I actually got my first referral and I closed it 2 months later. And that, when I moved, I was like, wow, this is the power of being with such a large company. So you really have to start thinking about what is it you want to accomplish in real estate and kind of go from there. And that leads into my next aspect is, are you looking to be a solo agent or with a team? And so let me describe what that really means. When you're a solo agent, it's what it says. You're by yourself and you are working on your own to get your leads, to get your deals. You might collaborate with some people that you work with, but really you're by yourself, right? And the difference is when you are in a team structure, it will change how the commission cap is because each team will potentially provide you leads. They will provide you a transaction coordinator. They might provide office space. So whatever those variables are, they most likely are going to take a bigger cut, right, from that team leader. But you're also getting things that you might not invest in yourself in the beginning. You might not invest in a transaction coordinator. You might not have invested in an office or getting leads for yourself. So if you look kind of the pros and cons to that, you can start to see that if your goals are to be with a lot of people and go to a team, is it then to learn a lot and then maybe expand on your own? So a solo versus team structure can start to make you realize that there's a lot of potential in both. You just kind of have to decide what you want to go. You need to kind of think about what brokerage also you might want to go to. There's something called a DISC assessment, DISC, and people actually use these when they're hiring people. It doesn't actually tell you your intelligence level, but it actually will show you what you're good at and maybe how well you respond to challenges and how well you work with others. And the reason I recommend that, if you don't really know, do I want to be a solo agent? Do I want to be on a team? You will be able to see for yourself, take the test and see where your assessment lies, and see, oh, wow, I took the test. I thought I was working well. I thought I did well working with others, and maybe it wasn't for you, So you can kind of start to see, where are my strengths? And then where do I want to go take that within real estate? And that might be very helpful for you because it's a third party telling you what to do. Another option to consider when you're looking at the brokerage, and I think this is super important, is what does the support look like? What does the actual people behind the scenes that are saying that they're there from you in the beginning, what are they going to do for you? I'm definitely a searcher. So sometimes what I've done almost every time is I will search, said brokerage, reviews, or the brokerage X, what do agents feedback, and people will sometimes give some really brutally honest reasons as to why they are pro one brokerage or are not. And really at the end of the day, like every single brokerage is going to tell you the same thing. They're the best and they give you the best leads and they're the most amazing, but it's what you feel the most comfortable with, right? Like nobody can just tell you how awesome something is. If you don't emotionally feel connected with that, you're not going to go there. So think about What does the support look like? What do the brokers look like? What does the team look like structurally? So you can start to say, if I'm going to be a part of this world, I'm going to get infiltrated in this. How is my day-to-day going to look like? And who's going to be there when I have questions on a contract? Who's going to be there to help guide me if I have questions? You know, am I calling some random stranger that's going to be annoyed? Or are people going to actually help me? And I got to be honest with you, like, I'm a fact checker, and even still this day, I will still fact check so many times on my contracts because that's just how I do and things. I like to be very thorough. And so knowing that I can turn to somebody and I can ask a question and no one's going to be, you know, rolling their eyes at me makes me feel good. You know, like, there's no dumb question in this business of real estate. But if you're around people that think that way, I mean, you have to second guess what's best for you. That also will lead into reaching out to as many brokerages as possible and start to see what is best. You know, you have to remember that you are the asset, right? They want you. Is it the type of brokerage that just hires anybody and they're not really assessing them and anybody can come on in, doesn't really matter? Or are they the brokerage that looks at their sales, you know, they're looking at the kind of person they are. And, you know, at the end of the day, if that matters to you, you want to start to see, is that the brokerage for you? You know, for me, what was really important was a community structure. There's trainings. I can log in. People are willing to be helpful. I mean, I was just on a Zoom the other day, and literally one guy was like, let's start an accountability group. And we all DM'd each other on Instagram, and we're helping pump each other up to keep moving forward, you know, stuff like that. We have meetups. That really is important to me. And if that's not important to you, then, you know, you don't have to worry about that. You kind of figure out what's the most important, that you say, I have to have these like 4 or 5 non-negotiables, and you'll find a brokerage for you. Also, I think it's important to state is the cap structure. So what this means is that when you make commission, the brokerage will make a certain percentage and you'll be given a certain percentage back. And I can't speak for all brokerages, but the one that I'm currently at allows you to eventually make 100% of your commission. So a lot of times these smaller private brokerages just can't do that because the way that they're actually making money is by having the brokers or their talent, that is, and they're, you know, they're making money off of the agents. But at a larger brokerage, they're able to actually give you 100% option because there's just such a surplus of agents. So for me, I found that really important because once I hit a certain amount of sales, I make 100% of the money. And that's really a motivator, right, in life. If you're trying to figure out how to do well, if I know I hit this threshold, I'm going to make 100%. So when you look at the structure of a brokerage, you're going to want to consider also that fee, but also the fees. Are there monthly fees? Are there desk fees? Are you paying for the office? And that was one of the things before I went to the cloud-based model, I just felt really uncomfortable with. Like, I didn't feel like I should be paying a franchise fee to the location because I thought, what if I don't even like these people? What if I don't even want to be at this office and then I'm paying for this office with these people I don't even like? So in this cloud-based brokerage, I feel like I'm finding the people I like and then I'm going to them and I'm working with them. And the fees are only assessed when I make money, right? So they only charge us these fees once I do a deal. So I could be with them forever, never sell anyone any real estate, and I'm not being charged anything. And I like that structure because I don't want to pay for things I don't need to, right? So I hope this video was helpful for you. I could probably lament on 25 other things about what brokerage to choose, but I hopefully from my own experience have helped you kind of start to think about real estate in a way that will make you realize that you are in control of where you go and that you deserve to have certain things that are important to you. And if you want to follow me off of this video onto other outlets, I talk about lots of stuff about real estate and entrepreneurship and creativity and mindset all the time. You can also follow me on Instagram, my handle below, and you can kind of just see all the different things that I'm doing all the time. I hope that you like and subscribe this video and tune in for the next one.